New York's finest showed out this week. What does this say for the future of football in the Big Apple? Bills Chiefs never fails to bring about some drama, and this weekend was no different. With the season coming down to the wire, what teams actually have a chance to hoist the Lombardi?
I heard that under the breath.
Yeah. I'm Tom, and welcome to this live rendition of the BallGame podcast. I am joined by my co-hosts,
Matt Sullivan.
I'm Chris.
Why'd I say my full name? What the fuck? I got so caught off guard when you said by my co-host.
Yeah, it flows better. I don't do it every week or anything.
I'm not used to it.
All right,
yet.
so ton to talk about this week. It was an interesting week. One of the more interesting weeks in football we've had.
Minute, bro. In a minute.
Yeah.
Finally, some drama.
Yeah. Before we get into everything, though, if you like what you're seeing, if you want to see more of this content, please do us a favor, drop a like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that. I drove all the way here behind a Rolls Royce today, and I really want one. So can we help me out doing that?
Follow us on all of our socials as well. That usual stuff.
For sure.
Tom, what a fucking intro once again.
Thanks, brother.
You've been smashing it.
Thank you.
Even though you hit the little under your breath fuck there.
you said host instead of hoist, man. I think too fast. I think too fast for how I talk.
I fast
but
too
anyway,
think.
I fast to think, man.
It just happens, man.
It's my kryptonite. How's everybody's day? How we doing?
Doing well, man.
All right.
Worked last night. Got some good Monday Night Football. It was cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't too excited for the Monday Night doubleheader. I was like, this is stupid. 2 games on at the same time. What are we doing here? And they were both bangers. So that was good. Worked last night. Other than that, I'm doing well.
Yeah, I mean, same here. It was a busy weekend. Had our first flag game, 33-0.
There you go.
It was a fun time.
Shout out the boys.
Outside of that, I mean, yeah, the Monday Night Football games, I was expecting a big Giants loss. Did not get that. And honestly, for as much as I've been saying, I really want the Giants to lose. You know what? Now
It's fun to see them win, right?
Now I'm just having fun, bro.
It's fun to just ride the wave.
Now I'm just having fun, bro.
I'm so glad to hear you say that.
I really did think they were going to be such shit games, to be entirely honest. Like, I thought they were going to be horrible. Both blowouts. But we ended up getting great football. Peyton and Eli cast is always a great time.
Yeah, it is.
It was pretty much like red
Never
zone for
fails.
them. They were flipping back and forth between the two games. They were having a grand old time. I love watching them talk about football.
Yeah.
Give them playoff games. Please.
Please give them.
Please.
You
give
hear
them
about Al
playoff
Michaels?
games.
Al Michaels isn't doing the playoffs?
I don't know what that's all about.
That's crazy.
No idea.
A lot
what
of people
that's all
are
about.
saying, like, oh, he's so boring, he's so bland. But I feel like Al Michaels he tells you how it is. If the game sucks, he's going to tell you it sucks. I love that about Al Michaels.
Bro, that was... That makes no sense because he's one of the best. He really
I
is.
think so too. But I see people out there who are saying he's boring to listen to.
I like Al Michaels. I
love
think he's
Al
good.
Michaels. He's a
But
legend.
I really do love Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, though.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
always got to have the big calls.
Yeah.
They're great. Greg Olson is also
Greg Olson's
awesome.
awesome, bro. Love listening to Greg Olson.
But yeah, so speaking of playoffs, though, how's everyone with fantasy playoffs? Like, obviously that's coming up. That's a big thing. So I'm very curious. Where are we at in the fantasy playoffs? Like, how many leagues are we in? How many have we made the playoffs in? And what do we...
So I'm in 5 leagues, including the BallGame League, which...
I forgot about that. Holy
me
shit.
too. Honestly, I had J.K. Dobbins, so halfway through the first set of games...
You
of
lose
week
one player, you're done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I lost J.K. Dobbins. It was bad. But in the other 4 leagues that I actually paid to be in, I made the playoffs in all 4 of them. So I think that's pretty impressive.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Bro, in one of them, I literally just joined a random league on Sleeper because I was like, you know what? I just need one more. So I put in 50. I was 2-7, and I won 5 weeks in a row. And then, or 2-6, and I won 5 and lost 1. And I made the playoffs there. So I'm doing all right, man.
Way to be, bro.
Can't complain.
I was 1-5 in BTB to start the season. Finished the season 7-7.
Yeah.
So, and I got robbed Apollo week 1. I'm about to smoke his ass with the best team in the league. With the best team in the league.
I didn't make the playoffs in the BallGame League either. My
I didn't
team,
either.
No.
it was a massive failure. Justin Fields missed some time. Damian Pierce was one of the worst picks in fantasy football history, honestly.
Jesus.
Took him in the 3rd round. It was a complete wash. Dynasty, I successfully completed the tank. I have a wide variety of options.
Just fucking 0-14 in Dynasty.
I could take Caleb Williams. I could take Drake May. I could take Marvin Harrison. I could throw a curveball, take Brock Bowers.
Don't do that.
I could trade down. I have all the power.
Yeah.
It's Caleb and Marvin. I have all the power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They might be the two most coveted dynasty football assets we're going to see in the next 5 years.
We're likely going to end up going to Superflex one way or another.
Right. So I have all the power. I have the entire 2026 draft, 6 first-round
You guys
picks.
like Superflex? Have you? I've never done a Superflex league.
So
I've
I
never
haven't
done
it
one
yet
either, but most people do their dynasties as Superflex.
Really?
So we're trying to change dynasty to Superflex, but we got to take a vote and everything.
Yeah,
So we unfortunately started our dynasty without really much research going into our dynasty league, but I feel like it's been super fun at this point. I've had a good time with it. But
the thing is, without the Superflex, quarterbacks aren't as valuable.
Yes. In a trade,
True.
when you trade a quarterback, it doesn't matter as much. And in the draft, a quarterback's going to fall. As opposed to where Anthony Richardson could have gone, second overall, third overall last year. He ended up going 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
So you're talking about Drake May could potentially fall out of the first round entirely if we didn't do a Superflex, if we don't switch to Superflex. So it devalues the quarterback position if you don't have it, but in Dynasty you should have it.
And that's why I'm so big on we have to decide if we're doing that this year because I have the biggest draft decision of all time in front of me.
Yeah, so
if we're not going Superflex, it's easily Marvin.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks aren't that valuable. If we're going Superflex, then it's a conversation.
Yeah, so I would definitely suggest obviously starting off with a Superflex if you were to do a Dynasty League. Outside of that, it's gonna be I love Dynasty in general. I think it's probably the best platform for fantasy football now. Redraft is the obvious, it's the great one. But
Redrafts are great, bro.
keeping a Dynasty team, trading draft picks, all that stuff, I found that super fun. I think that's interesting. I'm looking forward. I have the bye in Dynasty. I'm gonna win that league for the second time in 3 years.
So how many leagues are you in, and how many did you make the playoffs?
So 6 that I count. I'm in a 7th, but it's another Dynasty league, and it's with Matt Miller, who's one of the big draft scouts and stuff like that. So in that league, I have the 2nd and 5th overall picks this year. That's a super flex and double flex. And that's the only league that I'm paying money that I'm not in the playoffs for. Actually, outside of that, I lied. 4 of my 6 leagues that I'm paying money for, I'm in the playoffs. And I have a bye in 2 of them, I want to say right now, and that's the name of the league is hilarious. The Cream Paisans, and that's Dynasty. So outside of that, the 4 seed I think in the other 2 leagues that I'm in. So 4 of the 6 I've made the playoffs, which pretty successful season in fantasy.
Do you guys have a player that surprised you, or in a good way or a bad way, the most
in fantasy? Yes,
I'm sure you have a few of them.
I have one guy. He's on the one team that I made the playoffs, and he's been my rock. And I should have just so. This year, I said this on earlier podcasts. I went with a strategy in fantasy where I tried to make all my teams completely different. I tried not to draft the same players. I wanted to just diversify my portfolio. And as we see, that kind of bit me in the ass because I only made the playoffs in one league. So it only worked in one league. I should have just drafted the players I knew were going to be good. But Raheem Mostert, man.
Yeah, Raheem Mostert, bro.
And it's, where was Raheem Mostert getting drafted?
The 9th round.
The 9th, 10th round, yeah. And he's probably the biggest steal of fantasy this year. And the crazy part is no one really talks about him.
Yeah.
Raheem Mostert doesn't, on fantasy shows, regular football shows, when you talk about the Dolphins, it's, Tua slander, how great is Tyreek and Waddle, Jalen Ramsey's back, all that stuff. No one really talks about Raheem Mostert. And then in the fantasy landscape, it's Christian McCaffrey, it's all these other guys. Raheem Mostert's what? Right? Yeah,
he is.
I have him. I have a buy in Goodfellas. I have him. And every week I was just when he put up 50, I was like, I got to trade Mostert. And I would try and trade Mostert, and everyone would just be like, I'm not taking Mostert. He's going to get hurt. Achan's coming back. I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, Achan does not matter as much as you think. And I'm fighting for Raheem Mostert, and I'm realizing, I guess I just got to keep him because I'm not going to trade him for James Conner or something like that. You know what I mean?
The thing with Mostert is he has 18 touchdowns on the year. That offense moves so fast to the point where he's going to get so many red zone and goal line opportunities.
Mostert is the guy that, if you had him, you wanted to trade him, and if you didn't have him, you did not want to trade for him.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's a great way
it's weird with him because he is averaging 5 yards per carry. He's really having a great season, but really most of his fantasy value has come from scoring in the red zone with the 18 touchdowns.
He's also a big dude.
He's having a great season.
He's a big dude. I will say that's a great pick. Obviously, Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
Right, Puka, Kyron.
coming out of absolutely nowhere. Kyron Williams, the exact same thing. But outside of the obvious ones in those two, I got to say Trey McBride.
Yeah.
I got to say Trey McBride has been a pleasant surprise, a guy that I thought was ultra talented coming into the season, but didn't know if he was going to get the opportunity. And once the door opened for him, he kicked that shit through. Like he broke the door off the hinges. Like he was phenomenal. He's been phenomenal, and I'm hoping that he helps me get to a fantasy championship in a couple leagues. He's been my savior at tight end.
Yeah.
So
Another guy you got to throw in there. You got to throw Sam Howell in there.
yeah.
Since week 5, he has 1 week not as a top 10 quarterback. It's a 9-week sample size, so 8 weeks as a top 10 quarterback. It's pretty impressive for a guy who wasn't getting drafted at all.
Yes.
So you got to throw Sam Howell in there.
One thing I gotta say, in the 4 leagues that I did make the playoffs in, I had top tier tight ends. Like Trey McBride in 2 of them.
I love having a great tight end.
Yeah.
Love it.
So since Trey has become the starter, I mean, he's been a top tier tight end, a top 5, top 3, you could argue. And Sam Laporta in another, and then Mark Andrews was my other one. So in my 4 leagues that I made the playoffs, those are my 4 tight ends. So what?
Yeah, I had
the one league you have the play. Who do you have as your tight end in BTB?
BTB, I have Isaiah Likely right now. I had Darren Waller, but he's on IR.
Waller was he was injured a lot.
Well, I
but he was a
drafted in the
letdown.
Goodfellas league. I drafted Kelsey, and I was so excited about drafting Kelsey that I doubled down and drafted Mahomes. And then I traded for Derrick Henry, and then I traded for Saquon, and I still missed the playoffs with Mahomes, Kelsey, Saquon, Henry, and Waddle.
This is what happens when you collude.
Yeah.
It's nuts. How did I miss the playoffs, bro?
That ass, bro.
Trying
Why
to
are you always
sabotage our
trying to
league,
fucking
bro.
ruin things, bro? Why are you always trying to ruin things? Fucked up.
Raheem Mostert's a good one. Having Jahmyr Gibbs has been a roller coaster of emotions.
Yes.
Like it was looking bad for a while, and in Goodfellas I got him. I got AJ Brown after like one of his better weeks, and I was like, I'm gonna pay a lot, and I did. I gave up. What did I give up, bro? I gave up Olave, Breece Hall, and something else for AJ Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs. And I was like, I might have fleeced myself, but it's okay. It's AJ Brown. And Jahmyr Gibbs started balling since then. Puka and Kyron. The thing about, like you said before, not drafting the same players, I kind of did the same thing. And it's just, you just end up rooting against yourself a lot of the times. And that's the most frustrating thing about fantasy. Is like, this guy scored. I'm like, yeah, this guy scored a touchdown.
Especially
it's like,
this past Monday night, because I'm like fighting for playoff position. So I'm in 2 leagues where I win and I'm in. And I'm literally rooting against myself.
Yeah.
Literally, one of the leagues I have Tyreek and Tua. The other league I'm going up against Tyreek and Tua.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
like
That's the downside of fantasy football. But you kind of you ride the wave.
Yeah.
I just like to, if the guy's on my team, I'm happy for it. You know what I mean? I don't even pay attention to who I'm playing against.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. You
Yeah.
can't. You just can't.
I just try to care about who's on
I
my
lost
team.
in the survivor pool, bro.
Oh.
This past week was you finally lost?
It wasn't meant to be, bro. It was a 2-pick week. I took the Lions and the Packers.
Oh.
The Packers were my lock.
bro,
Like the Packers I was taking no matter what. So I already lost there. But the Lions, I was like, division game, they might lose to the Bears. My other options were the Falcons, who also lost.
Yeah.
Right.
And who was my other option? The Colts, who also lost.
Also,
So it just wasn't meant. It just wasn't meant to be. No matter what I would have done, I would have lost. So I had a good run. Made it 14 weeks. It's pretty impressive.
That is
but,
incredibly impressive.
man, I don't get the gold.
What that was?
And by gold, I mean $25,000.
I figured. Okay, that was that. Survival.
Fuck, man.
Bro, that was bread.
How much was it?
25,000, man.
Oh my god, I was doing so well for so long.
I was
Bro.
gone by week 3. I was gone week 3
forgot to buy
because
back,
Dallas
bro.
fucked me over with Arizona, and I didn't want to buy back. Fucking stupid,
That's
man.
crazy.
But yeah, it's been one hell of a fantasy season. And if we want to just real quick talk about surprises on the other end of things, Jahan Dotson. Fuck you, man. Fuck you.
I have a few, bro.
I have a
Fuck
couple.
Jahan
Honestly, I
Dotson,
did.
bro.
I did okay. Like
Deontay Johnson,
Deontay
bro.
Johnson.
I hyped Deontay
yeah.
Johnson up so much. And like he was hurt for. He's been pretty good since he got back from
been
injury.
solid, okay, yeah.
The first few weeks he wasn't good. Then he got hurt. Aaron Jones, bro.
Aaron Jones
Jones
hurts because of
breaks
injury.
Aaron
my
Jones
heart, bro.
really hurts. Aaron Jones in one of my leagues. In one of my leagues that I missed the playoffs, I for whatever reason, kept Aaron Jones in my lineup this week, and I was like, he's questionable. Like, if he plays, I gotta start him.
Yeah.
Like, it's winning in. If Aaron Jones puts up 40, I need that. And I kept him in, and then he got ruled out after Sunday. And Drake London had already played, and Drake London had a career game. So instead, I started Dontavion Wicks. So Aaron Jones definitely hurts.
Aaron Jones was definitely my most painful.
Darren Waller is a really, like, the whole world was bullish on Darren Waller.
yeah.
Even
Dameon
Kelsey.
Pierce, again. As
Dameon Pierce is a good one. Even Kelsey and Mahomes, bro.
Calvin Ridley.
As a guy who owns both Kelsey and Mahomes, like, I'm
letdowns.
so let down. Like, super let down. No, there was a
Gabe
bunch
Davis,
of guys.
fuck you, too.
Cooper Kupp, obviously. Jonathan Taylor, like, all those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been some really
The unluckiest
really
pick.
bad ones.
Like, I don't know, because Cooper Kupp was hurt, so a lot of people weren't drafting him around draft season. I'm just trying to think of a guy that went like super early and just didn't perform well. Like, a lot of people are saying Bijan. But like,
Bijan was good enough.
Like a top
if
10 running
anything,
back.
like
Yeah.
Ramondre Stevenson in that range.
Tony
like,
He was
Pollard.
also a fucking roller coaster this season.
Yeah,
Because right before getting injured, he was incredible.
even Pollard,
yeah,
too.
you
like,
gotta talk about
Pollard's had
Pollard.
his game. It's hard with the running.
RB9, that's the crazy
The
part.
running
Is he
backs,
really?
it's like if you could put together literally 3 games, then
Yes.
like, all right, I'll take it. It's better than having no good games. That's how
Yeah.
the running back position is
Tony
in
Pollard's
fantasy.
looking Tony Pollard, I wanted him in every single one of my leagues and didn't get him in one of them. I love Tony Pollard coming in, but I just couldn't.
The thing
it
with
just didn't work
Pollard,
out.
it was just like, bro, he just wasn't scoring. They were
No.
just throwing.
Yes.
They just had that stretch where Dak was just throwing all the touchdowns. He's been better recently,
Yeah,
though,
I
Pollard.
just looked. He's had like 4 good games in a row.
Gotta say, James Cook, since this change of offensive coordinators, has been a dog.
Oh, shout out
So-
Dean. He said Keenan being taken 3rd to 5th round and being
Yes.
the number 3 wide receiver.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton.
Cortland Sutton.
What the
Oh my
fuck?
God.
Oh my god! Because all he does is score
That's
touchdowns.
one thing. So one thing I said, I was like, if this season taught us anything, it is take the guy who's the running back 1 with like Raheem Mostert. Take the guy who's the wide receiver 1. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. The
they
thing
can
is, Sutton,
surprise you.
Sutton hasn't had crazy production with catches
No,
or
he just
yards.
fucking scores.
All he does is score touchdowns and make a crazy
Bro.
catch every week.
George Pickens.
I'm not gonna lie to you, like while we're just on the topic, and then we could kind of wrap this
Yeah,
up
we'll
and
wrap
actually
this up
get
and
into
go
the
on.
show. But Cortland Sutton, we might be watching like the next coming of the Tavon Austin mixtape. Like Cortland Sutton's mixtape from this year is going to be insane.
Yeah.
He has some of the craziest catches, bro. Like his touchdown
true.
montage is actually going to be insane, and it's probably going to be playing through kids' heads for the next decade.
Tavon.
One of the craziest, like, obviously he's not having like the greatest wide receiver season ever, but in terms of highlights, bro, he has a full fucking career worth of highlights just in this season. He's been insane.
He really has, bro.
Shout out Cortland Sutton, man.
I'm happy that I said that he was gonna have a big year, even though he really hasn't. I guess he has at the same time, but
He's been awesome for fantasy.
Awesome.
yes,
Yeah.
he showed that he still has a lot left, like in that.
I think most of the
because-
people who drafted him in fantasy weren't drafting him as a weekly starter. They
No.
were drafting him as a guy to plug and play.
You know,
And like I have him in the league that I'm in, the one league I'm in the playoffs. He's been every time I've had to put him in, brother scores. Like thank you, Cortland.
bro, it's so funny because I have him in Dynasty, and I swear to God, I haven't started him once. I just have him on my bench, and all he's done,
You know what that means, right?
he has had 2 games where he's had less than 10 points. 2. That's it. The whole season. That's insane, bro.
Yeah,
Everything
he's been
else
really
has been
good.
Dude, he has 10 touchdowns.
everything else has been consistently around 15 to 17 or 18.
10
points, bro.
touchdowns in 13 games. That's
Yeah, bro,
insane.
it's crazy. And not one game has he had more than one.
No.
Not one single game.
just-
It came in 10 fucking different games. He's unreal, bro.
Yeah.
He's unreal. But
All
yeah,
right.
that's pretty much
That's
that.
fantasy football. Good luck to all of you out there.
I hope.
Whoever I'm playing in the playoffs, I'm sorry I have to do it to you, but it's not going to work out
Yeah, I
for
was
me.
gonna say I hope you don't win all of your leagues because I'm in a few of them. So
Well, I hope you don't win all your leagues. So, all right, we can get into real football now. We're gonna start local.
yo,
We want to
Gotta
start
start local.
with
Hell yeah.
New York's finest. Tommy Cutlets and Zach Wilson balled out this week. The AFC and NFC players of the week are the New York quarterbacks. No, Josh Allen's not a New York quarterback, so he's not going to be in there.
He's not a New York City quarterback.
No, he's just not a New York quarterback. So I'm gonna start with the Jets. The Jets are 5-8 right now. Every other team in the AFC besides the Patriots is at least 5-8. I think it's safe to say the Jets need a miracle to make the playoffs. Is that miracle wearing number 2? Has he been there all along? And have they? I just think so. I'll start here. I think what you saw this week with Zach, he said going into it, they said he had a conversation with one of his teammates, and he was like, "What are they going to do? Bench me again?" And he's right. And it shows that he has had a lot of pressure on him this season. He's had a lot of pressure on him in his career being a number 2 pick. It's clear he does not thrive under pressure. It's been clear. Everyone's been saying he's lacking confidence on the field. When you're lacking confidence in anything and it's obvious to people that you're lacking confidence, that in itself is a confidence destroyer. So now Zach starts out the season and they're like, listen, this isn't going how we planned. We got to throw you back out there. And they basically, the attitude is like, just don't lose this games. And for a minute, it looked like it could work. And then it just went so poorly so quickly. And he started playing so bad that they thought Tim Boyle, who I don't even know how he's in the NFL, truthfully, they put Tim Boyle in a quarterback. What does Tim Boyle do? He throws a pick 6 on the last play before halftime. And on a Hail Mary. That was hilarious.
Oh,
so then they say, well, we don't got Boyle. We can't put Zach out there. We got to go with Trevor Siemian. You think Trevor Siemian has started a season in his career? Maybe he's got to be a little bit better, right? Nah, he wasn't all that good either. So you say, all right, we're just going to go with the guy who's most naturally talented in the quarterback room and can walk, Zach Wilson. Although Rodgers, we don't know. But
we'll see what happens.
You go with Zach. He comes in, and he's just like, listen, it can't be worse than it already was, right? So I'm just going to do me. And it just feels like he was playing with some alleviated pressure this past week. So what are your reactions to a Zach Wilson masterclass?
I'll just start off real quick and say that there's a outside chance that Zach gets traded this offseason, and it was New York all along. It was just he wasn't built to be in New York.
Lights are too bright.
Because
let Atlanta get him. Let Zach Wilson and Bijan team up, bro.
There's like legitimately an outside chance that I could see him heading elsewhere and being I don't think we're ever going to see Zach Wilson be a great quarterback, even though the talent is obviously there. But there's an outside chance he could somehow become a good quarterback. Like, I'm not going to bet on that, but you saw it here. It was the most decisive and overall just accurate that he's looked throughout his entire career. Even though the protection was horrible. He got sacked 5 times, consistently under pressure, but everything looked good. I saw a video from Kurt Benkert, who's a former quarterback in the NFL practice squad or whatever. And he simply just proved that he's capable of being a good quarterback. His mechanics look good. His footwork looked good. It was the best I've seen Zach Wilson look, and it was that simple. Hi, Dean.
Speaking of Zach Wilson, we got a caller.
Zach Wilson,
the biggest Zach Wilson fan on the planet. Dean, what are your thoughts after the Zach Wilson masterclass?
I saw a revitalized Zach Wilson. He went into that week contemplating life, contemplating his NFL career, because that was basically over, after getting benched a second season in a row. All the pressure was off. My man, went home and said, listen, I got nothing to lose. If I throw 3 picks, I don't care. In the rain, C.J. Stroud threw less than 100 yards in the rain, and Zach Wilson's out here balling out for over 300, 2 touchdowns, looked poised, looked calm in the pocket, didn't make many mistakes. He had 1 fumble, but, he was trying to make a play. Give him credit for that. It was a tough Texans defense. It was not like a walk in the park. It was not a bad defense that they played against. I like what I saw out of Zach Wilson. Listen, are the Jets a good football team after this win? Still no.
Yeah.
But I have a little bit more confidence that Zach Wilson has the talent to do something. So, yeah, I mean, the Jets season, it's a wash. They're not going to win 5 straight games. They're just not. It's not going to happen. So, going to the offseason, and I don't think he's a Jet next season either. I think he gets traded somewhere. I think he needs change of scenery. I think he divides the fan base a little bit too much. I think everybody's on opposite sides of the spectrum on Zach Wilson, and I think within the front office it's a problem for them, so that they're going to decide to part ways with him, and they're going to find a new quarterback. But I think he's going to be good in the NFL after this. I don't know, after he gets out of New York.
Yeah, basically, yeah, that's pretty much what I was going
Yeah,
for.
man.
Before.
Yeah. Good stuff, Dean.
Love you guys.
Love
Well,
you, Dean.
Everybody.
Thanks for calling on, man. So yeah, what Dean said. Also, like, obviously Zach Wilson needs to get a ton of credit, like you guys said and Dean said. That just shows that he's a true professional. Like you guys both alluded to, the possibility of him being on a new team come next season. I mean, this is what teams want to see. When you're back, I mean, you want to talk about your back being against the wall. He was pinned up against that wall. Honestly, might have even been bent over. Might have been bent over.
He's been bent over.
Yeah. And he just came in and played some football. And I'm pretty sure he said something about that in his post-game presser. Like, there's been a lot of times in my career where I haven't been able to just go out there and play football. But today we went out there and played football pretty much. And, I mean, that was evident. He played with confidence. He had command of the offense, all that fun stuff. But the Jets' defense was phenomenal in this game. They were on one, generated a ton of pressure. I mean, they dominated time of possession, 37-22. They ran 66 offensive plays compared to 52. They only allowed 135 total offensive yards in the game while gaining 340 themselves, outgained them by over 200. I mean, you're not going to lose many football games like that. So overall, complete team win, defensively and offensively. And, if I'm Zach Wilson, I'm confident. This is all. That's all you really needed to see. Just have one good game, bro. And, like you said in the beginning, Tom, I mean, I've been saying this all year since the Rodgers injury. This Jets front office is terrible. I'd give them credit for getting Rodgers, give them credit for building a great defense, but the way they've went about this season, it's mind-baffling. It baffles my mind. You have Aaron Rodgers. You have Super Bowl expectations. Those are stripped from you immediately. You have the same roster as last year, pretty much. A great defense, some cool offensive skill position players, no quarterback. You'll make any move to get a quarterback. You say Zach Wilson's the guy, even though last year you saw how that went. Didn't go good. Say Zach Wilson's the guy. Zach Wilson's the guy. It doesn't go well. Zach has some flashes, though. Like we said a million times on this podcast in the beginning of this season, Zach Wilson this season compared to last season, it was like watching two different guys. Not saying Zach Wilson was good, but he was that bad last season. Then he had some absolute real stinkers, and it got ugly there. And they still don't make a move for another quarterback. And they say, you know what? We're going to go with Tim Boyle. We're going to go with Trevor Siemian. Fuck Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, you're demoted not just to the backup. You're the third string. You're not even going to get a chance. Even if this Tim Boyle guy sucks. Fuck you, Zach Wilson. We're going to go with Trevor Siemian instead.
Thanks.
It's like, all right. Like, they punted the season. Like, cool. They gave Zach Wilson one more shot. That's probably the last snap he takes as a New York Jet. They're clearly punting the season. They're clearly going to just go with Tim Boyle and Trevor Siemian the rest of the year. They didn't make a move at the deadline. And then they have the balls to put this kid back in. They have the balls to do that. And it just, I mean, like I said, shout out to Zach for like being a professional and coming ready, staying ready so you don't have to get ready, all that fun stuff. But, I mean, you were setting the kid up for failure.
Yep.
He wasn't supposed to play good in this game.
No.
He like that's why it's so special, because he was set up to completely fail and he didn't. But he was set up to fail because of the front office.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I have a real problem with the way the front office has handled this entire, like I've said a million times all season, when you have a defense that's special and you see a chance to have a Super Bowl window like they saw before this year, like they saw even after the Rodgers injury, like, hey, we just need some solid quarterback play. Our defense could carry us. When you have that window, you got to capitalize. And I'm not a fan personally of just punting a season away. Not like this.
I agree.
Agreed.
Real quick, it also helps when 2/3 of your attempts, receptions, and all that stuff goes to guys named Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. I mean, Zach had 36 attempts. 23 targets were to Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. 17 of the 27 completions ended up going to Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. 194 of the 301 yards also went to those two. And then one of the 2 touchdowns was to Breece Hall. So when you get those guys involved, good things are going to happen. They're your 2 most dynamic playmakers. It helps when you do everything you can to get them the football. So
Right.
hopefully they learn from that eventually, but not like this season matters much anymore to the Jets. I don't even think Rodgers ends up coming back. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. No.
But all in all, I mean, you said before that the Jets got Aaron Rodgers. I don't think that's how it worked. Aaron Rodgers got the Jets is what fucking happened. Pretty much took full ownership of this team to this point. So it's the Aaron Rodgers show. Ends up getting his besties over there, and Nathaniel Hackett, Allen Lazard, and Randall Cobb. You smell desperation, and this was a desperate move. And then Aaron Rodgers got whatever the fuck he felt like getting because the Jets had no choice at this point. Because who else were we going to get to play quarterback? We weren't going to start Zach again. So they ended up getting Rodgers, and Rodgers did whatever the fuck he felt like doing. You didn't set Zach up for any success. This was the Aaron Rodgers show. Nathaniel Hackett is not a good offensive coordinator. Aaron Rodgers only makes it work because it's the Rodgers/Hackett offense when he's in there. So you didn't set him up for success at all. Zach had a rough go of it, and that's not entirely on him. It was an offense designed for Aaron Rodgers that didn't know how to adjust off Aaron Rodgers. Poor Zach Wilson, man. Hope he gets another shot somewhere else.
Yeah, I was legitimately arguing with my brother about like the Jets fan base and front office and treatment of Zach Wilson, and he said something about when they played the Chiefs, and I was like, bro, that's the perfect example. I said when he played the Chiefs, all these people came out and said Zach Wilson played a great game, and I was like, he did not play a great game, and we argued for like 10 minutes on like the fact that he didn't play a great game, and it's just, I'm like, my point is, you guys have set the bar so low.
Yep.
And then,
this was a great game.
This was a great game. This was a great game.
Quarterback
This is what
game.
you want to see from Zach. But yeah, he's probably not.
No, I
a Jet
agree with
next
you,
season.
though. I was saying the same thing when they lost to the Chiefs. It was like, I remember saying it to Dean. I'm like, all right, like, yes. So, like, you could be excited and, like, happy that you played the Chiefs so close. Zach Wilson had a good game, and you were in position to almost win. But Aaron Rodgers is still out. Zach Wilson still had 3 horrible games prior to that, and you're still on the outside looking in of the playoff picture. And that's what, week 5, week 6 at that time? It's the same thing. Zach Wilson showed a flash. They're going to hype him up again. Mm-hmm. He's going to, like, I hope he doesn't, but it's just the cycle. Like, he's going to come out and be dog shit, and then they're going to turn on him again and call for him to be benched.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just how many times do we have to go through this process, man?
And that's what I said. It's like you just like you set the bar so low for him because you had these really high expectations, and he could never deliver on those because he's just not that good of a quarterback. And so now you've set it so low that anytime he does anything relatively good, you're amazed. Yeah. And so
that's that's kind of what Dean was alluding to too, where it's like he's literally the reason for a type of divide in the fan base.
Yeah.
Because there's guys who will hype him up every fucking great throw. They'll say if Mahomes did that, it'd be all over ESPN.
Yeah.
And then there's guys who will shit on him everything he does, even if he plays well. So it's like there's 2 sides of the spectrum, but I feel like the front office is causing that because you're putting him in these situations.
I also want to say that they also fucked themselves in terms of the return they're going to get for Zach this offseason too. Everybody knows he has to be traded now. Like, has to. And you're going to trade him, and what are you going to get back for a guy that was the 2nd overall pick now? A 6th, if you're lucky? Probably a 6-7 swap is what you're going to end up getting. Maybe a 5th-round pick at max. But you're not getting shit for Zach in return now. Because everyone knows you need to trade him. And even if a team buys into the flashes, it's going to be, okay, you have no leverage as the Jets. Because now everybody knows he needs to be off this team. Everybody knows he needs to be off this team. So the max you're getting is a 5th-round pick. Like, that's it. That's it. You fucked yourself on the potential return. Meanwhile, a guy like Justin Fields, who's had flashes, obviously, way more than Zach Wilson, is probably going to end up getting traded for a 2nd-round pick or more, potentially, from a desperate team in this offseason. So, interesting to see where this goes with Zach.
Yeah, and the Jets just rode out the Zach Wilson wave for way too long, like you said. And the thing is, like, they could have had an out. Like, it's not like the quarterbacks taken after him are all that great right now, like Fields, Mac Jones, and whoever else, even and Trey Lance. Those guys weren't that great either. So you could have just said, hey, it was a shitty quarterback class, and we don't think we did that bad. At the time, it was a good pick, and this. So they rode out the wave too long. They expected too much from him. He couldn't deliver, and then they threw him in when they had no other options, and just continued, like Chris said, to set him up for failure. And they're surprised when he can't deliver. It's just, it's clearly a relationship that's not working anymore.
You know what's crazy? You said it ended up being a shitty QB class. I remember when we looked at that class, how hyped up it was and how good we thought it was going to be, given that it was Trevor Lawrence, who ended up being a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson going 2nd, Trey Lance going 3rd, and then Justin Fields going 10th and Mac Jones going 15th. I think that was the exact spots, whatever the fuck. But those were guys that we looked at as like, yo, these are all potential franchise quarterbacks. All 5 of them.
Yep.
And then that really ended up backfiring. And this is a similar draft in this regard, too. This coming year, we're going to have a shit ton of quarterbacks that are potential franchise guys. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, just goes to show how hard it is to get your franchise guy, because only 50% of the quarterbacks taken in the first round end up being good, which is crazy. So we are currently going through that as well.
I was just saying, the Jets have neighbors that they might have found the guy, 20 minutes away, sleeping in his mom's house, eating some cutlets, man.
Indeed.
Tommy Cutlets himself. How you doing? He balled out. What'd you say?
What happened?
Huh?
Oh,
I thought you said something.
Jank soda. Yeah.
Tommy Cutlets, man. Indeed. How you doing?
Make all the noises for Tommy DeVito.
I've seen every week he plays. The past 3 weeks he's had.
Do you see the chat right now? Trunks wants to know who you're taking first overall, like desperately. Desperately wants to know who you're taking.
Brock Bowers. Teehee.
You will not use our podcast to justify your own means.
Yeah, fuck you, Trunks.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. But continue.
Unless you drop a like. Every week I see like a Bleacher Report thing, like Daniel Jones or Tommy DeVito, and it's just like, I don't know, man. This kid.
What? Say it, man.
Fun.
Say it.
I can't say it.
Say it.
Can't say it.
Come on, man.
I'm not gonna say it.
It all started with Sam Howell being better than him. But now it's gotten so bad that Tom Cutlets is better than him.
Good thing Tom Cutlets is better than Sam Howell, too.
No, he's not. Come on.
We'll talk about that in due time.
Sweezy says Tommy's having a Jeremy Lin type run.
Yeah.
It's a solid comparison, yeah. I mean, he's just like... It's just fun to watch,
just fun, man.
It's just fun. Like, I was afraid... You said something before the show. I was afraid you were going to get on here like, this fucking Giants can't lose and tank for a draft pick. And I'm like, bro, sometimes it's just, like, that's not just the way to do it. Like, this is fun. Like, these are the reasons you watch the teams, not to see your third string quarterback, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you watch the teams to enjoy yourself and to take pride in them.
Yes.
And this team is clearly taking pride in the way it's playing. Yep. And it's good to see from a morale standpoint that this team was all discombobulated how many weeks ago. And then this undrafted
free agent.
Undrafted free agent rookie, third
Tommy DeVito, you know how girls have like...
He's a handsome dude.
Like someone, I'm not going to name their name. I'm just going to use an example. Someone has a second Instagram and they're like, it's called like Through My Lens, but it's basically like a spam account where girls just do their photo dumps and shit like that. Yeah. Bro, this motherfucker, Tommy DeVito.
He has it in his bio.
Has a second
No fucking way.
Bro. Yeah, bro.
Yes,
bro. He has a second Instagram where he posts like his photo dumps and shit.
Yeah,
bro, I was crying,
it's so
bro.
funny, bro.
I seen it yesterday. Shit's fucking good, bro. He's such a fucking corny tool, bro.
He is such a
T Gunna. underscore.
He is such a fucking tool, bro. It's so funny because like
Look at this dude.
He's just
Look
like
at this guy, bro.
he's handsome.
No,
Look,
he
he's
is handsome.
To be
Handsome?
fair,
Bro,
look
he's
at this.
handsome.
that's so funny. I
But
love
like,
that picture.
it's so funny because he really is like the normal, like Staten
He's a
Island
guy we went to
tool.
high school with. He's
He
100%.
deadass is a Staten Island tool.
He's-
With all due respect,
We'll see
that
him
is
at-
sick at football, by the way.
We'll see him at DJ's Memorial Day weekend. He'll be there. I don't care how big he is in the NFL.
Yeah.
He'll fucking
Bro,
be
I'm
His
honestly,
fucking TD chain, bro.
I'm
there. The
so
TD chain is so
Bro,
weird.
he's comedy.
He's definitely gonna get this on a chain though, or something
yes,
like that.
yeah, absolutely. I'm very happy for the dude. I really am because look, bro, you were an undrafted free agent. He applied for a waiver to go back to college because he thought he wasn't going to be able to make an NFL roster. It's nuts. The story of Tommy DeVito is crazy. Big shout out to the guy, man. Like I said, as you mentioned before, I said to you before the show, as much as I wanted us to lose, right now I'm kind of just enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
Like, if we end up losing out, cool, good draft pick. If we end up winning some more games, fuck it, bro. We found our long-term backup quarterback. Because
Sure.
I'm sorry, Tommy, as well as you have played, if you become our franchise quarterback long-term, something has gone horribly, and I mean horribly wrong. Because
Something did go wrong.
already we're out of the Caleb Williams, Drake May sweepstakes. That's done. That's over with. We are now to the point where, like, I'm not taking a quarterback if it's not Caleb or Drake. We are going to reach the point where it's fulfill the prophecy. Arch Manning is meant to be in a big blue jersey.
Get him here.
It's just that simple.
He's a dog.
So I'm happy, though, because, look, backup quarterbacks are valuable as hell, and Tommy now knows the offense. You could trust him. Bro, he put together a game-winning drive on, like, fucking 4 plays and didn't use a timeout.
I said before the show, I said
What?
sometimes he just makes a throw, and I'm like, why are you
Bro.
doing that? You shouldn't be doing that.
The Isaiah Hodgins throw was a dot.
Bro, I was watching the Dolphins game. Like I was like really watching the Dolphins game, but like it was a close game. So I'm like, I'm gonna go watch the Giant game, whatever. And Ortiz texts me, he's like, yo, like I'm ready for O-Block Zone Wars. Like I'm on. I was like, hold on, bro. There's a minute 30 left. The Giants are down by 1. Tommy Cutlett's a legacy drive. I didn't believe that shit. I didn't think he was actually going to do
Neither
it.
did I.
And that motherfucker did it.
He did.
And he made it, like you said, he made it look so easy. Like he's been
really
there
did.
before. Like he's been there before. No, that was super impressive, man.
Dable after the fucking game goes, because someone asked him, like, did you trust him or whatever? Or, like, how did you keep him calm?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he was like, I didn't need to keep him calm. He's like, Tommy DeVito's always calm. He's like, I just told him to go rip that bitch. He was like, and I was like, yo, that is
He probably
my
said exactly
fucking-
that, though.
He did.
He said
That was
exactly that, yeah.
what. Yeah, he said it at the conference,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
definitely told that to fucking
Word
Tommy
for word.
DeVito. I'm
bro.
happy. This is Brian Dable at his finest too. For anyone
Oh
that
my
called
God,
for
I
his
love
fucking
Brian.
job,
Yeah,
You're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
you're an idiot. This man, what did he have to deal with this season? Nothing good. So, Brian Dable, Joe Shane, I trust y'all, man. I really do.
absolutely trust them. Bro, his agent, Sean Stellato, I think is his name.
They're spamming the chat. Tommy DeVito greater than Daniel Jones. Please stop. Please, I beg.
That's a reality I refuse.
I
to accept.
really
I
beg
can't-
that you
I
stop
cannot believe that we
saying
paid a
this.
guy $40 million just for the undrafted. I can't even say the words. You know what I'm thinking. I want to talk about his agent though, Sean Stellato. That guy looks like he's a henchman for the Penguin from Batman.
he does.
Bro, he's your
He does.
typical like Goomba, like just paisan. You know what I mean?
If you
Like,
could have dreamt up an agent for Tommy DeVito,
it's Sean Stellato.
it's exactly
Bro,
what
he has
what he is.
he
yeah.
has on his Instagram, it's like a certificate for like an Italian club or something like that. Let me see if not a club, but I'm using the wrong.
There was a
terminology.
Sopranos meme on Instagram.
Yeah,
too. Oh my god!
if you guys know the Sopranos, he's on the phone and it's Tony Soprano when one of the episodes is Pine Barrens. It's like the best episode in the show. And you hear James Gandolfini say he killed 16 Czechoslovakians single-handed, and the guy's like looking at Tommy DeVito and like telling him. If you know the show, it was funny.
Bro, he was.
But,
There was also the meme where he was in bed with his wife, and he was like, "We got to get our daughter to marry Tommy. He's a good guy. He plays quarterback for the New York Giants. He's like, we know the family. If it doesn't work out, we could put him in the business. Like, we're good."
Bro, it's so
I was
funny.
like, bro, this is.
And then after the game, they asked Tommy DeVito. They were like, "Did you see the the viral moment with your agent and your dad?"
is trolling us so hard right now, bro. I'm getting tight. Please stop. Please. Please.
Come on, man. Relax.
Please. We get it. We get it. We understand. And it's enough. Like, stop.
Just relax.
I beg.
But he was like, and they asked him about that moment. He was like, they were like, "Did you see it?" And he's like, "I don't know. It's good for business." And I'm like, bro, this guy just can't stop being like a Sopranos meme.
No, but they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what
They
they're
know
doing.
what
Of
they're
course they
doing.
do.
Like, he's made a name for himself with the fit.
He's so fucking funny.
And like they'll be able to like go off of that and stuff. Like I'm very happy for them. As I said, Tommy DeVito fits perfectly in what a backup quarterback should end up being for this team. I really do think so.
He
honestly.
really has like changed the energy of the place, though.
Bro, everyone loves him.
Everyone loves him.
Everyone loves him. Dex, after the game, they had a little video, and Dex was just like, I forgot what he said, but like, bro, the energy between the two of them, I was like,
Shepard too. I saw something about Sterling Shepard.
Saquon, same
Yeah.
thing, but bro, I'm super happy.
Bro,
for
somebody
Tommy,
called
bro.
him the Gabagool. Like GHOUL, the Gabagool.
Oh my
It's
God.
crazy
Passing
too because you look at like
Passing Paisano was great.
you look like last year, and people say like the Giants. By people I mean me. The Giants were surprising and they like exceeded expectations, and a lot of that was on the back of Saquon Barkley. And Daniel Jones had a good year, but like it was really Saquon carrying the offense. You look at their 3-game win streak right now in terms of EPA on rushing plays, they're the worst in the league. And they're still on a 3-game win streak. The defense is obviously playing really well too. Kind of the same things we said about the Jets. Like obviously praise the quarterback, but the defense is really holding it down and giving them a chance. But Tommy DeVito, man.
Not just
Tommy
what he's
DeVito.
doing with his arm. 4 for 71 on the ground.
he
in
can
this
run,
one,
bro.
Too, bro.
He
He's
really
got
can.
wheels,
Yeah.
dude. He's got wheels. He looked comfortable, bro. He really did. For a guy this young, like as an undrafted free agent, bro, it's ridiculous. It's unreal what he's been able to
Bro,
do. this year.
somebody said somebody showed the picture of the agent and they were like, no wonder all the quarterbacks in front of him got hurt. He put hits out on all of
He
them.
really did, bro. He really did, bro. Can we have
Oh,
a 2 to
man.
5 minute segment about Draymond? Oh my God, I don't need to talk about that.
This is it.
Bro.
Blessed to be honored by the the Boston Italian consulate. Arnaldo Minuti. He's
I
it's
just
so funny, bro.
it baffles my mind, as you said earlier. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't.
It's great though.
We were supposed to lose out. We really were.
Yeah.
We were supposed to get Caleb.
And now
He
we
was
get
supposed to be in a Giants jersey. But instead, I'm happy as fuck. We got Tommy DeVito.
yeah. Who needs Caleb?
Who needs Caleb?
Who needs Caleb? You got a homegrown chicken cutlet fiend right in your backyard. That's all you need.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I'll pose the question. Of the two New York quarterbacks,
Oh.
who had the better performance?
Oh, who had the better performance?
Well, okay, all right. Because in a vacuum, you could say Zach's performance overall was better, right?
Yeah.
Who had the more impressive performance of the two quarterbacks?
The
Still
second-
got to go with Zach Wilson, bro. To be in that situation and have pretty much all odds stacked against you, you got benched for Tim Boyle. Jets fans not only upset with losing, but growing furious with the team, with the front office. And, they heard Zach Wilson was starting, and everyone probably expected him to fail. And he came out and proved the world wrong. Tommy DeVito's playing with house money. Zach Wilson was playing for
Zach
his
was too this
career.
weekend.
Zach wasn't this weekend.
I guess.
He was going to get a second
Zach
chance.
said himself before the game he had nothing to lose.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm going with that. You're talking about the second overall pick in the draft versus an undrafted rookie free agent. You want to talk about thrown into circumstances you didn't see coming. I'm going to go with that guy in
I
primetime
agree.
football
I'm with
against
you
a hot Green Bay Packers. That's no one has been expecting Tommy DeVito to do this. I saw this. I literally remember watching the preseason games, and they say Tommy DeVito, and they were like, Tommy DeVito in a quarterback. I'm like, Tommy DeVito? I think I went to high school with Tommy DeVito. What the hell is this?
He balled out in the preseason.
Yeah,
He played really well. So it just
Take a side said if Daniel Jones was healthy, then you could
I
have got
saw
Caleb.
that. I saw that. Bro,
funny.
it also big shout out to the offensive line. It wasn't phenomenal, but there were opportunities
we will
where
take not phenomenal.
they held up. Like Andrew Thomas obviously being back is a massive help. And John Michael Schmidt seems like he's improving throughout the season. Those are two guys that we're going to have to rely on long term in the offensive line. Evan
Packers
Neal
run defense is Swiss cheese
he didn't
also.
play obviously in this game, but like you're going to hope that Evan Neal at some point figures it out next season even if we move him to guard.
Please move in the guard.
Something needs to be figured out, but you know, today was I mean, that game was fun. The offensive line held up relatively decently, so I got to say like Tommy DeVito's performance was unreal. And it needs to be said because given the circumstances, like Zach's in his third year now. We expect him to do something like this on occasion. Tommy's in his first season as an undrafted free agent. Like, that's unreal. That was something that you'd never expect. Zach is at least, you know, you see the arm talent in Zach. So that's there. But Tommy, it was just out of nowhere.
Grit. He just plays the game the right way.
They
both do.
Well, no, Zach really doesn't. But Zach really
does not
doesn't.
play the game the right way.
You know, I want to say he plays the right way, but he doesn't play the right way. Tommy plays the right way.
Tommy friggin' DeVito.
Tommy really plays the right way. So, you know, big shout out to Tommy DeVito, man. Getting it done with his arm and the legs.
And his heart.
And his heart.
And
And
his
all
heart.
that heart.
And
All that fucking
his
heart.
heart.
So, and the gabagool.
Hang on.
Definitely the gabagool. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, all right, guys. This is big. Since we're on the topic. Tommy Cutlets. Oh, wait. Oh, fuck. Would you rather? Tommy Cutlets edition. Okay. Here we go.
I can't wait for this.
I mean, I'm going to take everyone else.
That's bullshit. This is stupid.
I'm not.
Okay.
Say Daniel Jones.
The Pastronaut, Josh Dobbs, or Tommy DeVito?
Josh Dobbs.
Give me Tommy DeVito.
Yes. Okay.
Pastronaut has fallen off.
Mac Jones or Tommy DeVito?
I'll take Tommy DeVito on this one, just for the meme.
I'll also take Tommy DeVito.
Okay. All right. The guy that we just mentioned, Zach Wilson or Tommy DeVito?
Give me Tommy DeVito.
I'm going to take Zach Wilson on this one.
Okay. Aiden O'Connell or Tommy DeVito?
I'll take Tommy Cutlett.
I'll take Tommy Cutlets.
So you were taking the other guy forever.
Nah, not Aiden O'Connell.
Jake Browning or Tommy DeVito?
Jake Browning.
I'd
Come on.
honestly-
man.
I'll take Jake Browning. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
take Jake Browning.
That man has
Overall.
composure.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to say his last two games.
Yeah, he's looked
Bro.
really good.
All right, let's see. Who else we want to do? Gardner Minshew or Tommy DeVito?
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, I'll go Minshew.
Sam Howell or Tommy DeVito?
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell.
Fuck, man, it's clearly Tommy. All right. Last one. Mitch Trubisky or Tommy DeVito?
Shit.
Give me Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, I'll take Tom Cutlett for the meme.
Okay, there it is. Tommy Cutlets, would you rather?
So the question we've been dancing around: Daniel Jones or Tommy DeVito?
Fuck, bro, I wasn't going to do it.
You have to. We know what pick a side's going with.
Okay, bro. It's Danny. It's still Daniel Jones. Can we stop?
It's got to be Danny, bro.
Can we stop? It is still Daniel Jones. We've seen Daniel Jones play at a high level on multiple different occasions, bro. Like we have. It's still Danny. As much as everyone wants to clown him and say it's Tommy DeVito, it's still Daniel Jones. It is. All right? Stop with the disrespect.
It might not be.
He was really bad to start the season. I get it. I understand. I get it. But no. No. Just no.
All right.
Chris, who do you got, man?
I'll take Daniel Jones.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
Danny.
cool.
For now. Who knows what the future may bring. I just want to make this point real quick. So the last wild card spot is Green Bay at 6 and 7. The Giants play New Orleans and the Rams, and they're also 6 and 7. The other two games are the Eagles. Is there a possibility Tommy DeVito takes his team to the playoffs?
Bro, please stop.
No.
All right, I'm just
Sorry.
I will fucking kill myself if that's what happens.
All right, bro.
that'd be so lit.
That's dragging it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You know what? How about this? If the Giants make the playoffs, I'll I don't know, money. And what would I put the money to? I'll do like $1,000. I'll put $1,000 on the fucking line right now. That the Giants, if the Giants make the playoffs, I'll put $1,000 into
We get to pick. We get to pick what you spend your $1,000 on.
Yeah, honestly, I'll give you guys that.
I'll send
if
the
the
chat.
Giants make the playoffs, I'll spend $1,000 on whatever the fuck you guys feel like me putting the grand into.
That's such a random bet to make.
Nothing to do with you guys. It
Nope.
can't be you guys specifically. But yeah, I'll do that. They're not
Yeah,
making the
not like
fucking
on us,
playoffs.
yeah.
They're not.
All right.
They're not. Simple as that.
I want you to spend it on scratch offs. As many as you could get. Give yourself a chance to win.
That would take me forever.
Yeah.
Rather than spending on
Can't.
copy paper.
Oh my God. Pick a side meme said, get a Tommy DeVito jersey. Yo, actually, there we go. I'll buy as many Tommy DeVito jerseys as $1,000 gets me, and I'll give them all away.
We'll go to MetLife and give them out.
I'll give every single one of them away.
Yeah,
I'll go to the playoff game and give all of them
Pick
away.
a side.
That would be sick for a TikTok.
Yeah.
Giving away Tommy DeVito jerseys.
Like dead ass. Like honestly, we'll make it like a little what's it called for our subs and stuff. We'll make it a giveaway. I'm so dead ass. I'll do it. If the Giants make the playoffs, $1,000 on Tommy DeVito jerseys, giving all of them
that'd
away.
Be so fucking.
There it
funny.
is.
That'd be crazy.
There it is. They're not making the playoffs.
All right. We'll move on to more high quality football.
Pick a side meme. Thank you for the idea, by the way.
Yeah, shout out you. As I said in the intro, the Bills and the Chiefs never fail to bring drama about, and this weekend was no different. We talked pretty extensively about both these teams last week, so I don't think we're going to go too much into depth. I want to talk about the situation with Mahomes and the refs. I think there's a lot to be said there. Like, that was fucking crazy. How Kadarius Toney, that might have been one of the most blatant offsides I've ever seen in my life.
So bad.
And coming from Giants fans, no better feeling than seeing Kadarius Toney lose his team games consistently. But what you call?
Nice.
Mahomes after the game, first of all, to go up to Josh Allen and say, that's the worst fucking call I've ever seen in my life. And Josh Allen was like, yeah, well, I lost to a fucking coin in the AFC Championship. So, you know what? Eat it. And then I've never seen Mahomes so animated about one call. I've seen him get animated. He's kind of like I know his NBA comparison is probably Steph, but he is like Steph in that regard.
Yeah.
Like, Steph gets animated about calls, but he doesn't really drag on a lot. This he dragged on, and it's just like, it's so crazy to me that it was obviously the right call. And Mahomes and Andy Reid were not arguing whether or not he was offsides. They're just like, you shouldn't make that call at that time. And then Mahomes has the nerve to come out in a press conference and say referees should not decide a game after the holding on Bradbury in the Super Bowl. And again, that was a holding. Like, that's a penalty. It sucks to suck. Like, that's a penalty. But for Mahomes to say that the refs shouldn't decide a game, like, and for him to just stay quiet when it happens against him, that's just so, like, I don't know. That's corny to me.
It's hilarious to me because of the fact that it was what Mahomes said, where he's like, on a play like that, you're going to call in offsides. Like, that's crazy. Like, and then he was like, oh, this affects Travis Kelce's Hall of Fame resume. Like, bro, Mahomes dragged it so fucking hard. And look, he never does shit like this, so I'm not gonna like hold it against him like too much. But it was just for you to he was like, yo, for you to decide a game like this, like on a play like that, bro. They threw the flag before the play even fucking happened. Like, once this ball was snapped, yellow flag goes in the air. There you go. Like, he's so clearly offsides. Yes, he did it 4 other times during the game. Whatever. Oh, Sleazy, I get it. I understand that. Like, you're right. But at the same time, also, it should have been called.
So that's
you can't get away every time.
Exactly. That speaks even more to why they should have called it, because he's already done it 4 times and we let it slide. Like, we can't let it slide
With the game on the line. That's exactly why.
The same way the refs shouldn't I guess you can say, yeah, the refs shouldn't decide a game. In a perfect world, no, they shouldn't. But the same way, like, this guy's lined up to offsides, it's clearly a penalty. How is that deciding the game? Just because you want this cool play to stick. And Mahomes, too, like, what do you want them to do? Pick up the flag and be like, yo, that's offsides, but, like, that play was really cool, so you're good. You know, like, what are they supposed to do?
Let's not act like Mahomes doesn't get a bunch of calls, too.
That's exactly
like
my point.
The week prior, he got shoved out of bounds while he was still in bounds, and the flag fucking flew. So let's not act like Pat doesn't get a lot of calls. No, he most definitely does.
There was blatant hypocrisy in that statement.
Yes.
It's just so crazy to me.
I agree.
All right. So here's how I look at it. The biggest part of this whole thing is the fact that it's a call that they usually check with the refs. They call like offensive offsides and stuff like that. They rarely call it on receivers because the receivers check with the refs. So it's just, how do I word this? You can't officiate a game like that and say, yeah, well, they normally check and we normally tell them if they're good or not. But when they're so offsides, we're not going to tell them shit. And, like, I get it. But, like, you can't allow them to check sometimes and then not, and other times it's just an auto flag. True. That doesn't make sense. And then to Pat Mahomes' point, like I said in the beginning, they don't call that shit. They didn't call it all game. Like you guys said, Tony was lining up offsides all game. Didn't call it all game. And now in the biggest moment of the game, that's when, like, I know you could say Mahomes gets calls and all that jubble, but, I mean, this was a call that if they didn't call it, I doubt people would have went back and said, you know what, that shouldn't count. Kadarius Toney was offsides. Maybe they would have, maybe they wouldn't have, but people would get over it because it's a receiver offsides. Sometimes that shit just happens. Not even just in this game, all the time. Sometimes a dude just lines up offsides and they don't call it. They don't see it. So it's like, you didn't call it all game. You got to be consistent. I get it. Like, this is the end of the game. This is when you need to be, you know, your sharpest with your calls. You don't want anything to go on that you miss and then get shit on tomorrow. Well, the Chiefs won this game because the refs missed this call. You want to be on your shit, but got to be consistent all game. And I'm not, like, agreeing or disagreeing with calling it. I just think there's inconsistencies with these types of things in football that shouldn't be, that also just make the ref's job harder because it's a judgment thing. So people are going to agree if they want the Chiefs to lose. If they want the Chiefs to win, they're going to disagree. That's just how it's going to go. But to Mahomes getting angry like that, like, I kind of understand, because from his position, it really is the ref determining the game. Like I said, my main point is you let it slide all game, let it slide all season. Dudes are always offsides, or you let them check with you. You didn't let him check. You didn't call it prior. So, like, how is he going to know? You know what I mean? If he's lining up like that all game and you're not calling it all game, how am I going to know? Like, oh, shit. Also, you're not allowing me to check with you. How am I going to know?
But that was the thing. What do you mean they weren't allowing him to check with them? Andy Reid came out post-game and quite literally said Tony did not check on the play. Like, didn't look at the refs, didn't point at them and ask. Like, he was like, that needs to be a coaching point.
I don't know. I saw something that the refs said, like, in their post-game presser, like, if it's so egregious, we're not going to check with them anyway. If it's so egregious, we're just going to not say anything and throw a flag, which doesn't really make sense.
See, that's weird. That's weird.
It's weird, yeah.
There. But, like,
so maybe he didn't check himself too, which is also his fault. I'll agree with that. Yeah. Like, he has to check.
Yeah, Reid straight up said, like, yo, Tony didn't check. That's on him. Like,
all right, word.
Reid came out afterwards and said that. Because you see it all the time with receivers. They'll check, back up off the line of scrimmage, and then it's like, fine. But Reid came out after the game and was like, yo, that needs to be a coaching point now. Like, I guess that I need to tell them that. But he's like, Tony didn't even check. So he was like, you need to be sure to do that.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I get it.
In terms of Mahomes, like, I think any quarterback would have been angry and animated there. Maybe not to that level. Maybe he dragged it a little bit. But, I mean, we saw what LeBron did against the Celtics last year. Sometimes you You just love the game, man, and you hate to lose.
Yeah, but that's different.
LeBron got down on his knees.
That was
Yeah, but that's a
crazy.
foul that should have been called. This is This is a penalty that should have been called and was. You know?
Yeah, but from the
Listen, I get it.
the quarterback size.
No,
like,
yeah. The refs decided the game, but like they did the same thing in the Super Bowl last year. And like I get he's
No,
not
I
supposed-
agree.
yeah, he's-
Dudes
yeah.
are always the refs are always going to have an imprint on the game. It's their job to make
Yeah.
or not make calls. But when it doesn't go in your favor, you're obviously going to be mad and
Yeah, you're gonna be
animated
upset. I'm
about
not saying
it.
he shouldn't be upset. I'm just saying like
It's
he's
just the
he's dragging it out,
circumstances
yeah.
and what was said. Like you could be mad.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, he just
crazy to
said
go
some-
up to the other
yeah.
quarterback and like instead of
Yes.
saying "good game" to say that.
Yes.
Like I get being mad, but that's a little bit
just
crazy.
unprofessional.
The post game press conference, like you guys said, like he dragged it a little bit. He dragged his press conferences, like let it go. But I get the point. Like I get where he's coming from. I don't fucking look at Pat Mahomes like I'm not gonna
No.
say Pat Mahomes is a crybaby.
Or
and
diva,
shit, like,
yeah, no, I'm not
I
gonna
just
say
found
that.
it hilarious.
yeah,
just-
no,
yeah,
it's
it was funny.
hilarious.
It
It
was
was
funny.
fucking
Yeah.
hilarious.
It was funny. He was literally throwing a whole thing. I've never seen him get so upset at something in all the football. And like, it's Pat Mahomes. You would see if he's done that before.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I've never seen him get so upset about the call. But Sleazy said they were in a bunch concept. He can't check from where he was. So
Why is Andy Reid coming out and saying he could have checked?
I don't know.
I'm gonna
There's
take the word of the
There's a
coach.
lot of like, because I saw a lot of different things that Tony checked with. I saw people say he checked with the refs and the ref said he was fine. Like there's a
who
lot.
I'ma
coming out,
believe?
bro.
The coach.
Yeah, the head coach. Yeah, 100%.
But less about the Chiefs.
Yeah,
They ain't fucking win the game.
Exactly. On to the actual game itself. Well, the rest of the game. The Bills did take this one, and this felt like a game the Bills win. Just when you think they're out, just when you think they're done, when you think they've lost a step, they come out and they beat one of the best teams in football. And Josh Allen, 23 of 42, 233, 1-1 with a touchdown on the ground. He had a good game. James Cook had a great game.
Yes, he did.
He had a fantastic game. So, are we back in on the Bills? Are we, does it change things for us? What do we think?
I said they were beating the Chiefs this week,
You did say it.
and I
You
said
did
they were
pick
going to make the
Chiefs.
playoffs. I'm not backing off that. I fully
course.
think the Bills are going to make the playoffs because when you count the Bills out, that's when they seem to play their best. So it seems like if they're the favorite and everyone expects them to do something, they don't fucking do it. But when you don't expect them to do something, that's when they have their best season. That's when they have their best stretch of football. So I'm not putting it past them. This felt like a little bit of a different game in how they usually have to win. Josh Allen had a lot of great plays. Do not get me wrong. He did go Superman at multiple points in this game. But you saw a different aspect of this offense, and especially recently with Joe Brady as the offensive coordinator, James Cook is heavily involved. And I've been calling for this all season. James Cook is dynamic. No, he doesn't need to get 20 carries a game. He doesn't need that. Give him 10 to 15 carries, incredibly efficient running back. And get him involved in what his best aspect of football is. Receiving out of the backfield. Look at that. Goes ahead and gets what was it, like 86 yards or some shit like that on 5 catches.
Something like that.
Had a touchdown in the receiving game. Get James Cook the ball. Use him in what he's best at. A matchup nightmare for both linebackers, safeties, whatever it is. Whoever guards him, he's a matchup nightmare. This was a different game plan, and it's been the last few weeks. We saw it with the Eagles. They played a great game. Unfortunately, didn't come up with it, but they still played a great game in that one. This is a different Bills team. We're starting to see a different Bills team, and that is something that makes me very happy, and it's something that I really want to see. So I'm not backing off my take. The Bills will make the playoffs. Might have a little something more scorching soon enough, though. If we do pose the question.
I mean they get Dallas this week, and then Chargers, Patriots, and then they get Miami week 18. So that could be a test of a game, but Miami could be resting their guys by then, so we don't know.
Could also be for the division.
Yeah, could also be for the division.
I mean, I'm just going to say it like this. This team better not beat Dallas this week and then go to LA and lose to Easton Stick and the Chargers.
Yes.
They better not do that.
That would be a
'cause shit'll
Bills thing to do.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, shit'll get really negative and spicy on here. So for Josh Allen's sake and Sean McDermott's case, I said Doug McDermott.
Doug McDermott. Shout out Doug
Sean McDermott's case, I hope that doesn't happen, but good win for them. You pretty much said everything. James Cook was pretty electric in this game. Jerry Sneed had Stephon Diggs on clamps, on locks.
Bro.
Yeah.
4 for 24 on like 13 targets.
I hate to be that guy and be a hater, but to me, this was more of the Chiefs not being that good and than the Bills like turning it around. I don't know. The Bills didn't like move me. I don't know.
It's a game against the Chiefs that they won.
Yeah,
Against
like
one of the
it's,
best teams in all football.
it's
Yeah.
definitely.
We still want to talk about a team that's one of the best in all football.
It's impressive. It's just like they didn't. I don't know. As a squad, they didn't like do anything like that. Really, like their defense wasn't incredible. It was good. Defense like held its own, but like it wasn't incredible. Josh Allen wasn't really. Like he made some crazy plays
He did.
for sure, but like
had a bad. He had a middling game.
yeah, overall he wasn't like insane. Diggs got locked up. James Cook was obviously great, but all in all, I don't know.
They were
Gabe
Kadarius
Davis,
Toney
0
foot
catches.
away from
Yeah,
losing this game.
Well,
Also,
who's to say Josh doesn't go down and drive for a touchdown?
fair enough.
Like, we've seen Josh Allen
Fair
do
enough,
some
fair
crazy
enough.
shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. I mean, like you got to give them credit for not folding. You know, the Chiefs had the lead for most of this game, so definitely give them props for hanging in there and coming back. But
So the AFC picture.
Dolphins are winning the division, bro.
I genuinely think that the Bills will win this division. I really do. I really do.
The Dolphins needed to lose to the Titans.
So I have both remaining schedules. They're versus the Jets. This is Miami. Versus the Jets. Versus Dallas. At Baltimore. Versus Buffalo.
Yep.
Yeah, that's no cake.
Not a fun fucking
is
schedule
no
right there.
cakewalk.
And then Buffalo has versus Dallas at Easton Stick. Versus Bailey Zapp and Mac Jones. Or Mac Jones, I should say. And then at Miami. Those are the 4
Dolphins got to have the toughest remaining 4 games, right?
They may.
Can't be.
Look, I'm just saying, if Tyreek is somewhat limited, we've already seen what that offense looks like without him now.
Yeah.
So, the Jets are no cakewalk right now, and they have one of the best cornerback groups in the entire league. So, who's to say they don't go to New York?
And the
well,
pass rush, yeah.
or go back home to
Listen,
Miami
man.
and lose this one.
Hard Knocks started recently in season Hard Knocks. It started around when the Dolphins played the Jets on Black Friday. They played the Jets. They played the Commanders. They then played the Titans this week. They needed to lose this one. They needed a wake-up call. Tua, Mike McDaniel, Jalen Ramsey, Tyreek Hill. They needed a wake-up call. They were letting the fame of Hard Knocks get to their head. Tua had braids and a silky. Tyreek Hill doing all this podcast and Fortnite stuff. They needed to lose to the Tennessee Titans and be humbled in the way they did. So now they could go on this 4-game stretch to end the season. They could show the world that they, the Miami Dolphins, are Super Bowl contenders. They're the class of the AFC East. And they will win this division. And they will beat Buffalo at home on January 7th at time to be determined.
Shout out Pick a Side Meme. They agree with me.
Shout out, pick a side, man.
They agree with me.
Listen, man, the Bills still have to play those Cowboys too.
Yes.
The Bills still have to play the Dolphins too. I know the Bills definitely have an easier schedule. Don't get me wrong. They don't have to see the Ravens or the Jets defense. The Bills definitely have the easier schedule from this point on.
Mm-hmm.
But still got to play the Cowboys, man. Same
Yeah.
team, they still got to play each other. And the Dolphins still do have a 2-game lead in the division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also
Even
just wanna say-
even if the Bills win out, it doesn't guarantee they win the division.
Yes, very true. Very true.
So
Big shout out to Will Levis, though. What a fucking
oh
game.
yeah, what a game that
What a
was.
statement game from Will Levis, man. That was unreal. And D-Hop turning back.
D-Hop,
the clock.
man.
Well, I turned it off to watch the end of the Giant game, and I was like, "Well,
'Cause
all right,
it was over.
this shit's over. Like, good. I'll watch the last
That's crazy.
Tommy Cutlets drive down." And Tommy Cutlets drove down, and I came back, and I was watching a 1-score game, and I watched Will Levis drive down, and D Hop have the game of his life.
Yep.
What the
Whoa.
fuck,
Of his late life.
bro?
in Football.
He was open every time, and if he wasn't open, he was making a crazy catch.
Bro, that catch on Xavier Howard was
Bro,
nuts.
they had no answer for him. He was just in one of those. That's why I'm not concerned about it as a Dolphins fan. It's just one of those games where D Hop's one of those guys who could beat you on his own.
So he could still ball.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he could ball, bro.
Hopkins still
Hopkins?
fucking
Oh,
ball,
Hopkins
bro.
still ball.
Bro, he was
Yeah.
the routes, the toe tap catches, going up over the
I
top. He
wonder
was
if
cooking.
he wants to stay in Tennessee after this.
I don't
season.
know. He was
Will.
cooking though.
I would love
Bo
to see
Levis
him
is
on.
cool. Mike Vrabel, fucking masterclass, bro.
Levis is so goddamn handsome.
They had 2 punts blocked last week, and then they muffed a punt in this game that pretty much sealed the deal.
Yes.
And then Will Levis fumbled, and
they
then
still
those boys
pulled it
came back and fucking pulled it out.
Made no sense.
That's resilience, bro. That's Mike Vrabel fucking masterclass.
Yeah.
Mike
Will has
Vrabel.
that it factor too. Will definitely has that it factor too.
Bro, the fucking dropping his shoulder in his he wasn't even gonna stop the touchdown.
No fucks
he
given.
still dropped his shoulder into him.
No fucks given, bro. None.
Sean Murphy Bunting had a fucking day. Obviously, Tyreek got hurt, but he had a day.
These boys.
Yeah, no, that was impressive. Dolphins are still winning the division, though. I'm not worried, bro.
Let's see what happens.
We will indeed. Moving on to another competitive division in the other conference. The NFC East battle. Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The Cowboys come out. I'm just trying to pull up the final score here. Bear with me a little bit. Yeah, Cowboys blew them out 33-13. It was the Dak show. I mean, just an absolute masterclass by the Cowboys. A statement game for sure. Dak 24 of 39, 271, 2 touchdowns. Great game from Dak Prescott and the boys. So the question stands. The question is the same question it's been for honestly my entire life as a football fan. Is it their year?
I'll let you go first, Chris.
I mean, it's been their year. Like, I kind of backed off. I was thinking about this the other day. I kind of backed off a little bit after they lost to the 49ers earlier on, but all offseason I was hyping them up. This team is the second most complete team in football. Obviously, the 49ers are kind of in a stratosphere on their own right now, but you look at this Dallas team, they don't really have holes. They have elite quarterback play right now. They have a running back who's more than capable. They have CD. Jake Ferguson's having a season. The O-line's great. D-line obviously generates a ton of pressure. You have Osa Odigizua, generating pressure from the middle and stopping the run. You have Stephon Gilmore having a not a career revival. He was still pretty good last year, but, being great. You have Deron Bland, who took the role of Trayvon Diggs.
Yep.
When we thought it was over, that's kind of when I gave up hope for the Cowboys when Diggs got hurt. But then Deron Bland came out of nowhere and it's been great. The safeties, Curson, who's the other safety?
Donovan
Hooker?
Wilson.
Oh, Donovan Wilson.
Even Malik Hooker.
They have Hooker too, yeah, right?
Yeah, 3 guys over there.
Yeah, but their defense is dominant. Their offense is dominant. I said it all off season. I had the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl, but it was a 3-team race in the NFC. It always was a 3-team race. The Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Niners. Cowboys won this one. We can't forget the Eagles won the last one. We can't forget the Eagles had a stretch where they beat the Cowboys, the Chiefs.
Their last
Eagles?
The Chiefs
Yeah.
and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
They beat the Cowboys, the Chiefs, and the Dolphins in a 3 stretch of games. Obviously, they lost their last 2, but we got to remember, this team could beat good teams. Obviously, they're not the same as the last year. The defense has obviously fallen off. The offense struggled these past 2 weeks, and I know those are the teams you want to beat, the 2 in the NFC, but we know this team could beat good teams, and I think anyone counting the Eagles out is a fool.
Agreed.
I'm with you on that.
I agree.
Yeah. I will say, my preseason prediction when we did our Super Bowl episode, I picked Dallas and Baltimore to go to the Super Bowl. I'm not moving. No shot. I'm going to stick with my Super Bowl prediction. I think Dallas is going to make the Super Bowl. And honestly, might be a weird thing to say as a Giant fan. I don't hate this Dallas team, bro.
I hate the Cowboys.
I don't hate this Dallas team.
I like individually. I really like the players, but I just hate the Cowboys.
I like Dak a lot. I'm rooting so hard for Dak Prescott. I like Micah Parsons a lot. I can't help but I don't hate a CeeDee Lamb. I don't hate Tony Pollard. Fucking love them.
They're also just good football players.
They're great
which
football
helps
players.
when you talk about liking or disliking them.
And then I want to see 2 Hall of Famers and 2 of the greatest of their positions ever in Tyron Smith and Zach Martin potentially get a ring. I'm not against that entirely. So, look, I think this Cowboys team is very capable of beating the Niners, obviously. And they match up really well. Both of these teams, even Philly, it got away from them in terms of when they played the Niners, and then obviously this one too. But Philly was driving the football in this game, drove it early in the San Francisco game, but 3 times they got stripped, either Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, and A.J. Brown. Your 3 best offensive players ended up getting stripped of the football, and that changed the whole dynamic of the game. And then obviously in San Fran, you had 2 drives where you end up closing them on a field goal, and then the game snowballs out of your hands. So all 3 of these teams are very capable of winning the NFC. I think it's pretty much just the 3-team race. Nobody's touching them. But I think it's Dallas. I really do. And it just seems like it's lining up. Like the stars may finally be aligning. Those Dallas stars may finally be aligning.
I'm not falling for this shit, man. The Cowboys do this to us every year. I know. I said it. I would say it last year all the time. Wow, I know the Cowboys do this every year. They say it's our year every year. But this Cowboys team really does look different. I said those exact words many times last year, and they let you down. And I mean, it's not even really let me down because I love seeing the Cowboys lose. I love when their fans just lose their mind. It does something to me, you know. And you know, you can own the Giants all you want in the regular season, but it doesn't matter to me. It's fun. It's still fun seeing you spiral out of control in the playoffs. But that's where I'm at with Dallas. Is there any reason they can't be the best team in the NFC and win the Super Bowl? No, there isn't. Other than they're the Cowboys, and they just manage to fuck up when they can't. So when I'm looking at the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Niners, I think the Eagles have had a gauntlet of a schedule these last 4 years.
Have.
Kansas City, Buffalo, San Fran, Dallas. That takes its toll on you, you know. And again, they beat Dallas, they beat Miami. They've clearly shown they can hang with the best of the best. And then San Fran just dominates when they have to. San Fran doesn't win when they have to. They dominate when they have to, and they make statements. So I'm still going with the San Francisco 49ers. I still think they're going to win the NFC, and I think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you made a great point about the Eagles and their schedule. Like it kind of eases up for them a little bit here. So
yeah,
you know, don't be shocked when the Eagles dominate these next 2 games and get right back on track. And we're talking about them as a contender.
Get the Giants twice, the Seahawks, and the Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a deserved back end of the portion.
Yeah, they should finish strong.
Like,
yeah.
And then not to mention, like, I think San Fran only has one more legitimately difficult game for the rest of the season, and I think it's Baltimore.
Yeah.
So that Baltimore game in Week 16 is a big-time game for them as well. And, I mean, look, I'm just saying, if they go ahead and thrash Baltimore like they've been thrashing all these great teams, bro, I'm going to have to sit here and say, you know what? Nobody's beating San Francisco because you're done. Like, you're finished.
That's going to be a banger of a game considering Lamar
be.
Doesn't lose to the NFC either.
That is also a very good point. It should be a banger of a game, and I'm with you on that. Look, I picked the Ravens to be in the Super Bowl. I want to see my Super Bowl team like go out and beat a great team like that. But the Ravens play up to the competition and down to the competition.
Yes.
So I'm intrigued by what that one's going to be.
They do. They really do. It's so weird.
But yeah, I mean, look, all in all, this is a team in San Fran that is obviously, probably the class of the league right now. Roster top to bottom, all that stuff. But I don't know, man. As I said, there's something about these Dallas Stars aligning this year. But it also goes to show there's a stylistic change with Dallas this year as Mike McCarthy has taken over the play calling this season. And look, I am man enough to admit when I am entirely wrong about something. Big shout out to Mike McCarthy for everything he's done.
Yeah, you had him getting fired mid-season.
I thought this motherfucker was going to get fired. And here he is, arguably the coach of the year. Mike McCarthy's been phenomenal in terms of his play calling, just everything he's done this season. It's definitely big time for Mike McCarthy, and he deserves all the credit in the world. So I will, take pot of the face on that one.
Sure. All right. So being as how we mentioned a few times who we think is going to win the Super Bowl and all that, I believe we were going to rank teams next. We're going to rank Super Bowl teams. Basically we're just going to give our top 10 teams in terms of who has the best chances to win the Super Bowl. So maybe not, who's top 10 teams in the league right now. Our top 10 Super Bowl picks. So do we want to just hop right in? Do we want to go?
I think each of us gives our top 10 list in full,
Okay.
and then we go to the next person. So I
Sure.
feel like that's what we'll
That's what you want to do? Okay.
do.
Who wants to start? Anyone?
Would you like to start, Chris? Because I'm still like between a few teams to where I don't know where I want to.
I have a list. I can start if you just want.
Yeah, go for. If you have a list, go for it.
Am I starting at 1 or I'm starting at 10? Start at 10?
Yeah,
Start
sort
at
of
10.
fun.
Okay. This 10 spot was one that really messed with me. I also have a couple of teams. Hang on, I want to change one thing. Bear with me here, chat. Okay, so these are our top 10 Super Bowl contenders. At 10, I have the Denver Broncos. At 9, I have the Detroit Lions. At 8, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. At 7, I've got the Buffalo Bills. At 6, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. At 5, I have the Miami Dolphins. At 4, I have the Baltimore Ravens. At 3, I have the Dallas Cowboys. At 2, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. And at number 1, I have the San Francisco 49ers.
Go for it.
All right. So at 10, I have. My bad. At 10, I have the Houston Texans with CJ Stroud and them boys. I just think CJ Stroud's playing different right now. At 9, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. At 8, I have the Detroit Lions. At 7, I have the Buffalo Bills. At 6, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. At 5, I have the Dolphins. At 4, I have the Eagles. At 3, the Ravens. 2, the Cowboys. And 1, the 49ers.
Damn, this is tough. At 10, I have. Damn, bro, I'm between like 3 teams. All right, that one wasn't easy. At 10, I have the Packers, the Green Bay Packers at number 10.
Okay.
At 9, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. At 8, I have the Detroit Lions. At 7, I have the Miami Dolphins. At 6, I have the Buffalo Bills. 5, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. 4, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. 3, I have the Baltimore Ravens. 2, I have the Dallas Cowboys. And 1, I have the San Francisco 49ers.
Didn't you just say the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl?
Yes, but in terms of like...
I feel like just like respect, you have to have the Niners.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I picked
Like
them
based
personally.
on what they've done this year, you have to have the Niners at 1. But I like if they played each other in the playoffs, I would probably take the Cowboys.
Yes.
I don't know.
They're a completely different team than what the Niners saw
Yeah,
when
I
they
agree.
blew them
I
the fuck
agree.
out, when they beat the brakes off.
So just like going through the list, 10 was like a toss up between a bunch of. I put Denver. I was between Denver and Houston. You put Green Bay. None of them are winning the Super Bowl. I feel, but the
Green
top.
Bay's going for a run.
They just lost to Tommy.
It doesn't
Hubbard.
matter,
Come on.
bro.
Come on, stop.
They're fine.
Stop it. Yeah, they're fine. So the top 9, we all had the same teams, just in a little bit of a different order. Interesting how a couple weeks ago you said Kansas City had no chance at winning the Super Bowl, and then you put them higher than both of us.
So,
It's just funny.
That is funny.
like, I also think the Dolphins don't have a shot at winning the Super Bowl. It's so my thing was I was considering switching the Bills and the Chiefs, right? Like, I genuinely do think if the Bills are in the playoffs, they have a better chance at making it than, say, the Chiefs do. But given the path that they're going to have to go through is likely going to be much harder than the Chiefs' path is going to be, I would probably say that the Chiefs have, I guess, a higher chance of making the Super Bowl,
Yeah. Okay.
but not winning it. Because I think it's one thing to make it, but then when you run into these 2 like behemoths or even 3 behemoths by
Juggernauts,
that time, you have no shot at winning the Super Bowl. I think the only team in the AFC that really has a legitimate chance at hanging with these 3 NFC teams is the Baltimore Ravens. So hence why I had them at 3 above Philly, below 49ers and Dallas.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. I got a few TikToks.
Cool.
Let's do it.
All right. Guess the NFL receiver based on their fantasy finishes. Guess the NFL receiver based on their career fantasy finishes. So this is going to be PPR scoring. Like I said, it's a receiver.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you where they ranked among receivers in their entire career.
Okay.
And it also gives away when they were a rookie. So it gives you a little hint. So in 2014, wide receiver 13. 2015, 22. And you guys get the gist of the years.
Yep.
Wide receiver 2, wide receiver 17, wide receiver 9, wide receiver 15, 11, 9, 17, and this season he's currently the wide receiver 9.
Mike Evans.
It is indeed Mike Evans.
When you said the challenge, the first name I thought of was Mike Evans. I'm like, Mike Evans is definitely on here.
When I decided I was going to do this challenge, Mike Evans was the first guy I looked up. All right.
Shout out Mike Evans, most consistent fantasy receiver out
Once
there.
I saw the consistency, I was like, oh, it's no question.
All right, the next guy in 2018 was the wide receiver 39, then 16, 23, 18, 24, and he's currently the wide receiver 7, having a career year.
What year was his rookie year? 18, you said?
Yeah, 2018.
39, 16, 23, 18, 24, and 7.
Brandon Ayuk.
No.
He might have been 19.
Yeah, I think Brandon Ayuk was drafted later.
Yeah.
Wide receiver 7 right now. 2018 draft. Why can't I think of him? Oh my God. 2018 receiver.
Yeah, I don't know the draft years that well, so I'm gonna not hone in on that.
Just start throwing out some guys.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think here. I was gonna say Amon-Ra, but that's just clearly not. Wide
DK?
receiver 39 is rookie season.
DK Metcalf?
No, not DK.
Is that the right draft? I think you might be in the right draft though. That's a N'Keal Harry draft too. Holy
Jesus
shit.
Christ.
There weren't many great first rounders, I don't think, in that draft class. Oh my God. It's not AJ Brown, because last year he was wide receiver, I think, like 2 or some shit.
Yeah, he was up there.
Oh no. This is bad. Damn, bro. I was gonna guess like it's not Jalen Waddle. That's the 19 class, I think. Oh, this is a rough one. I'm blanked. You got me. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
He's in the NFC.
7, bro. Wide receiver 7.
Having a career year this year. On a new team.
On a new DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
DJ
Damn it.
Moore.
All right. The last guy
Nightmare.
in 2014 was wide receiver 122. In 2015, wide receiver 126. Then wide receiver 31, 9, 7, 63, 10, 28, 29, and he's currently the wide receiver 14.
You want to talk about lacking consistency. Jesus Christ. Got to be someone that's been, like, killed by injuries.
Yeah.
Someone who came out of nowhere, too. Started as wide receiver.
126 and then 31. Yeah, that's kind of fun.
And then the wide receiver 7 and 9.
Yeah.
14 draft. Not Amari, not Odell, and not Mike Evans.
Another guy on a new team.
Adam Thielen?
Adam Thielen. There you go. All right.
Nice. He was in the... Wait, you just say 14 was his rookie season?
Yeah, he seems so much older than the other
What
guys.
the fuck?
That's what it says on Sleeper. It has 2013 there, but it's like blank.
Okay.
Like he didn't play.
I was thinking the 14 draft.
Yeah.
That's why. Okay, cool.
All right.
He's like 34, I think. It's crazy.
Shout out Adam Thielen.
All right.
He's
My
been
next one.
hooping.
Guess the NFL team based on their offensive stats. So this team has 421 points, which ranks first. They have 4,959 yards, which ranks fourth. They have 28 passing touchdowns, which ranks first. 7 interceptions, which ranks third. 12 rushing touchdowns, which is 10th. That's it. That's what you guys get. Those are stats you guys get.
The Miami Dolphins.
No.
No. He said Mostert had 17 by himself earlier.
Did he?
Yeah.
17 touchdowns.
He's 18, actually.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
You're right.
San Francisco 49ers.
Not the Niners.
Oh,
First in points, you said, right?
first in points.
Yeah, in total
How many?
points.
Cowboys?
Oh,
The Cowboys?
It is indeed the Dallas Cowboys. All right. The next team has 314 points, which ranks 8th. 4,382 total yards, which ranks 14th. 14 passing touchdowns, which ranks 22nd. Did I say interceptions last time? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
9 interceptions, which ranks 9th. And 16 rushing touchdowns, which ranks 6th.
Baltimore Ravens.
No. Pretty middle of the pack, if I do say so myself.
14 passing touchdowns. Who the fuck?
Is it the Rams?
Not the Rams.
How many rushing touchdowns? You said 16?
Yes. 16 rushing touchdowns, which ranks 6th.
8th in points, you said?
Mm-hmm. And 14th in yards. 14th in yards. 8th in points. Huh. Not the NFC East. Not the NFC.
Huh.
South, East, and West.
It's an AFC team.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
AFC team.
Mid AFC.
14th in yards. 8th in points.
Mid AFC
Chargers.
team. Not the Chargers.
No.
No, they're a bad AFC team.
Yeah. Mid.
Denver Broncos.
No. Close.
More midder?
14 passing. Oh, wait. Russ has a lot of them.
As mid
Cleveland
as,
Browns.
No, not the Browns.
Pittsburgh.
Fuck.
No, it's not Steelers.
Not the Steelers. You guys are right there, though.
The Bengals.
Not the Bengals. You guys are so close.
Oh, my God.
Mid AFC team.
Bro, there has to be only one more that I could even think of. It's the Indianapolis Colts.
The Indianapolis Colts. Come on, that was
Those
predictable
Colts.
that I was
Yeah,
going to choose the Colts.
Yeah, you should.
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys should have got that.
Coming.
All right. That's it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow us on all of our socials. And with